Good evening. We begin with breaking news as the Ministry of Health and Wellness has announced no new cases of coronavirus on the island, leaving the total of infected persons at 753, while 603 persons have recovered. As we continue to look at findings in our Mello TV poll conducted by pollster and CEO of Johnson Survey Research Limited, Bill Johnson, we will this evening look at who the Jamaican people say would do a better job as Prime Minister of Jamaica: Andrew Holness, Dr. Peter Phillips, or Peter Bunting. Also joining host Nicole Hales in the discussion will be political analyst Paul Bourne and political commentator Linton Gordon. Still making news tonight, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is urging his Jamaica Labour Party J.L.P supporters to pay more attention to what the public is saying about current issues. Mr. Holness says that as a political organization, the J.L.P must be responsible, as from time to time it would appear internally that there is a dissonance between what the public is expecting and what the political practitioners are prepared to do. He says that the party is on a mission to change Jamaica for the better, to make it genuinely and truly a place of choice to live, work, raise families, do business, and retire in paradise. In other news tonight, opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips says he is seeking to set the record straight regarding remarks he made about the extension of the tenure of the Director of Public Prosecutions, D.P.P, PAULA LLEWELLYN.
Recent developments, including comments made by the Prime Minister, compel me to set elements of the record straight. The facts are, first, the Prime Minister wrote me on February 7th, 2020, regarding the request of the Director of Public Prosecutions to have her tenure extended for 5 years. I replied to the Prime Minister on March 2nd, outlining the views of the opposition. To date, I have had no response from the Prime Minister. Subsequently, in May, following communication with me from the Governor General, I communicated directly with him. At no time did I say, as the Prime Minister stated, nor has anyone else speaking on my behalf said, that the appointment of a new Director of Public Prosecutions should be withheld in order to facilitate a new administration or any incoming government. Any suggestion in that regard is palpably false. That type of fabrication by the Prime Minister is totally unacceptable.
Now, Dr. Phillips further stated that the appointment of a new DPP should be withheld in order to facilitate a new administration or any incoming government.
A new administration would have no role in the appointment of a Director of Public Prosecutions, since such an appointment is done by the Public Services Commission. It is only extensions of the tenure of the Director of Public Prosecutions that require consultation between the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition. And in this instant case, that would have to be completed before September of this year, as there is no constitutional requirement that could enforce the calling of elections prior to September. Such was never a consideration. It should also be clear that this exchange of letters took place long before there were any of the current discussions about the DPP's findings in relation to Ms. Lisa Hanna or any other member of Parliament, as is being implied in some parts of the press.
Still making news tonight, the family of 43-year-old CARSHA Johnson Sinclair is seeking clarity regarding what really happened after she fell to her death at the National Chest Hospital in St. Andrew on Wednesday. More on this story with Colleen May.
The family of 43-year-old CARSHA Johnson Sinclair, who is believed to have fallen to her death in a chute in the vicinity of the isolation ward at the National Chest Hospital in St. Andrew on Wednesday morning, is seeking clarity about what really happened. Her husband, Dave Sinclair, says that the family is demanding answers from the hospital.
When I heard about it, I was at work. I get a call from my daughter of what she heard, so we went up by the hospital. When we reached up by the hospital, I started to question the doctor. The doctor first told me that the nurse said that she came to her at 12, asking her to go to halfway 3. She gave her a medication, which is an injection, put her to sleep. She wake up back at 4 o'clock. At 4, she told the nurse she want a next shot. Put her back. The nurse said, no, I cannot give you a next shot back to back. I'm going to get some water to tidy you off. Leave her, come back, and don't see her. They started to search the hospital outside the wards and outside downstairs. When they came back up, they saw her slippers at the ventilator and chute that the garments. They threw the garment chute to go downstairs. They saw her slippers there, so they figure more or less she have gone through the chute. So that's when they went downstairs and they looked in the chute, they saw her. Call a doctor, you know they have doctors, they can call. The doctor come over and pronounce her dead. Call the police and the police came. Police says it's not their matter, so they are going to send another team of police. So that's what happened. The next team of police came.
Mr. Sinclair said the family is insisting on the provision of CCTV footage to show what occurred that led to his wife's death.
I couldn't believe that my wife on oxygen cannot walk 2 minutes, not even a minute good, without oxygen. Her doctor will be there as testimony to all that. She said she cannot walk without the oxygen. She have to live on it. She have a pack at home where she walk with, and she have a cylinder at home she cannot go without. She sleep on the cylinder. If she go into bathroom, she take out the pack, put it on, and she go to bathroom. She cannot go without it. If she go without it, we have to run her down and give it to her because she'll be dropping off the toilet seat. So I can't see how she walk, end up to climb up on a bin to go down through a chute. The chute is about more than my arm length out to get to the elbow of the chute to come down. For her, she to go up to pull herself up. I want the doctor to explain to me how she pull herself with how many oxygen she have in her to pull herself through that, how many strength she have left in her body from the oxygen that left in her from doing all that action without oxygen to pull herself through that chute. I need that explanation. What I need from them also at the hospital, I need to see the footage of the CCTV camera that is over my wife's bed. I want to see the movements that take place in the hospital. From you say she get up at 4 to the nurse, I want to see then straight back till she go through that vent. I just have suspicion that there's some foul play and the hospital need to explain it.
Mr. Sinclair also said that he cannot go back to work at present, as since the news of his wife's death broke, his boss believes that he has been exposed to the COVID-19 virus. The attorney representing the family, Isaac Buchanan, expressed that he hopes that the footage with Mrs. Johnson Sinclair will be turned over to the police, as he is concerned about preserving the evidence in this matter.
Currently, my concerns is to preserve evidence. So what we are clear on is that there is video footage of the last moments before her death. And certainly we would hope that the authorities, the police, would naturally get into their custody the footage or the hard drive to preserve that evidence. The family is refuting the media reports of a suspected suicide, and the circumstances surrounding her death is one which calls for a coroner's inquest. And certainly we are hoping that that is the route that is going to be taken. This moment it is an investigation. It can go either way. What we are being told is it's not decided whether it's homicide or suicide, and so the investigation is early. So what is of utmost importance is just to clarify the reports in the media and to ensure that the public is aware that the family does not have COVID-19, and that rather than discrimination or fear from the family, that they should exercise compassion and empathy.
Reporting from Mello TV News, I am Killeen May.
In news from St. Thomas, the police there are probing the circumstances surrounding the death of an elderly woman at her home yesterday. Deceased is 92-year-old Miriam Dunbar of London Lane, Morant Bay. Reports from the police coming into our news center are that at about 2 p.m., a relative stumbled upon Dunbar's body lying face down in a water drum. The police were alerted and she was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. The scene was processed and the body removed to the morgue for a post-mortem examination. In news from the capital, millions of dollars in various currencies were recovered and 2 thieves were arrested following quick action by the police at a Western Union located on Hope Road, Kingston 10 yesterday. Reports from the Halfway Tree Police coming into our news center are that at about 9:40 p.m., a team responded to reports of a burglary in progress at the financial institution after an alarm went off at the building. Upon the arrival of the police, 2 men were found inside the ceiling with a bag containing 1 million Jamaican dollars, 11,500 US dollars, 1,010 euro dollars, 115 Cayman Islands dollars, and 1,240 Canadian dollars. The men were taken into custody and the cash seized. It is believed that a third person escaped with an undetermined sum of money. The identities of the men are being withheld pending further investigations. In news from St. Anne, Councillor for the Bamboo Division, Sydney Stewart, was sworn in as the new mayor of St. Anne's Bay yesterday during the monthly general meeting at the St. Anne Municipal Corporation. The newly installed mayor immediately issued a warning that under his leadership it will not be business as usual. Mayor Stewart replaces Michael Bell-Navis, who resigned last week following reports that he constructed a building on government land in Ocho Rios without the approval of the council. The newly installed mayor says he will review and reverse, if necessary, the preliminary approval for the sale of council lands in St. Anne's Bay to Bell-Navis. The plot of land in question is located in the heart of the township and houses a Western Union outlet allegedly operated by Bell-Navis, as well as a public restroom operated by the municipal corporation. Still tonight, the Chief Medical Officer of Jamaica, Dr. Jacqueline Bisaser Mackenzie, has declared that the island's dengue outbreak is now over. This comes as the data from the ministry's National Epidemiology Unit shows that for the last 4 consecutive months of 2020, the number of dengue cases reported was below the epidemic threshold. March saw 37 dengue cases, 2 in April, 8 in May, and 2 in June. The Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, made his revelation during his sectoral presentation recently. At the same time, he is cautioning members of the public to remain vigilant against this disease, which is in the country all year round. Members of the public are being encouraged to play their part to control mosquito-borne diseases by keeping surroundings free of debris, destroying or treating potential mosquito breeding sites, wearing protective clothing, using a mosquito repellent containing DEET, and as much as possible staying indoors at dusk with windows and doors closed. Persons can call the Ministry of Health and Wellness at 888-1-LOVE. That's 888-663-5683 with any reports or concerns. In news from Hanover, the Hanover Municipal Corporation has started upgrading the Watson Taylor Park in an effort to provide more recreational spaces for residents within the parish. More on this story with Tamara Mikhail.
The Hanover Municipal Corporation began work on the Watson Taylor Park as part of creating recreational spaces for families within the parish. Mayor of Lucy and the chairman of the Hanover Municipal Corporation, Sheridan Samuels, in speaking with our news team, says that in the cleaning up process of the space, additional land were discovered.
We remove all those bushes, cut the trees that are supposed to cut, and guess what? We found more lands. we also found a new beach, because we didn't know that a beach was on the eastern side. And when we look at it, realize that we can even entertain more persons down here. For another thing again, in terms of the field itself, you know, it was donated to us by Mr. Watson Taylor. And we intend, we are not going to leave it like this. The councillor before me, Councillor Steer, tried to do something then. We now ensuring that we are going to take it from where he left it and do something even better. So if you look on the field, the surface of the field, it is better. Now I'm speaking to the Jamaica Football Association out of some COVID relief fund to ensure that we get stands at Watson Taylor Park. And we are very far in the negotiation, and we expect that we are going to get something from them as it relates to that. I was just approached the other night by some guys, the guys that play basketball. They want the court to be resurfaced. We are going to do it. We are going to resurface the court, the basketball court and netball court over there, so that they also will enjoy. We are going to make it into a complete sports complex.
Councillor for the Riverside Division, Darren Barnes, says that additional football infrastructure is welcome to move the sports of football forward within the division.
And if we do get stands here at Watson Taylor Park, it can move the football further ahead. As present, we have superstar I'm the president for the club as well. And if we really get something like this, we could at least get the youths more together, get a thing moving, and Hanover will be looking great again. And sometime we went out to like Montgomery United, we see where they have their stands, their changing room and all that. We are trying to put all these things in place. And we have to give thumbs up to His Worship Emir, the Deputy and the Hanover Municipal Corporation, for such a wonderful move.
Deputy Mayor of Lucy, Mrs. Andrea Dehaney Dinham, outlined that this is an initiative to ensure that residents of the parish have a space for recreation.
We want to ensure that Hanoverians have a place that they can come and enjoy themselves. There are not a lot of places in Hanover like this. And so as a member of the Hanover Municipal Corporation, the Deputy Mayor, I feel very pleased to be a part of this project. A lot of persons have been saying positive things about this project. We have gone out, got the funding to get it done, and it's just a beauty to behold. So we are inviting our Hanoverians to come and be a part of it and to come and enjoy it, because the Hanover Municipal Corporation is here to serve you and to ensure that you get only the best. At the end of the day, we are planning on putting some stands in the football field that is behind me. Over we are fixing up the beach. We have 2 beaches actually over there now. We are hoping also in the future to have some shops over there where we can have some vendors over there where we can rent some shop spaces, have a nice restaurant over there. We are hoping also to have some beach football, beach volleyball being played over there and all of that. So there are a lot of things that we're thinking about, because we want Hanover to get the best, and we are working on doing that.
For Mello TV News, I am Tamara McHale.
And those were the stories making news. I am Shelley Hill. We'll now join Nicole Hales with Decision 2020.